Hello, my friend. How you doing? All right. As I'm recording this, it's actually on a Saturday. I don't normally work on Saturday and let alone record on Saturday. But I just had to jump on here because I've been doing a lot of reflecting of this past week, and I've just been privileged to do a lot of coaching this week and sign on some clients. And it's been so fun and so rewarding. I love it when I get to meet new people and also to have actually old clients come back and hire me back on because they are struggling with something and they come to realize that after months of trying to work this out on their own, they realize they actually need some help and from me specifically. And so I'm honored and I'm grateful to hold space with them in this place and to be part of their journey in figuring out how to achieve what it is that they most desire. And so, as I've been reflecting on the various conversations, coaching conversations that I've had in these sessions, I came to realize that there seems to be one common thread in all of them. And it's something that I want to talk about because I bet it's something that's going on with you. And and I just wanted to bring it to your awareness because I don't think we realize that this is going on. And so I'm thinking. So it like there's nothing wrong as you're like, is he still there? Is something wrong with this podcast episode? I'm actually pondering upon my own experiences and what to share with you. You know, a couple years ago, I hired my first one-on-one coach, and as we were going through um, the various sessions, unpacking my feelings and emotions that eventually led to my separation, I was really struggling with feeling like I should like my spouse. I was struggling with my feelings that I should love my spouse. And in all honesty, deep down I did still love him. But so often, and I think almost every day, I just didn't like him. I didn't like being around him. I didn't want to be around him. I couldn't stand being around him. And I had so much shame over that. You know, like my whole narrative was like, what kind of wife am I? Of course, he's not going to want to be with me because I clearly don't want to be with him. And just trying to fight that narrative of that I should be a better wife, that I should want to be around him, that I should not feel that I can't stand being around him. And what she showed me is that once I stop fighting where I really am, is when I get to be in greater acceptance of my honest self. Now, did that come easy? It seriously did not come easy. And 2 years ago, I really struggled to just wrap my head around that level of acceptance and that level of honesty. But in working with her and then working with my present client or my present coach right now, I've come to realize that I can be honest with myself and not add the shame and blame to whatever I'm thinking and feeling. Now, there are moments where that is hard. That's still hard for me. But I'd have to say that there are more moments in my life where I can simply just accept where I am at, but not make that mean something about me, that I'm broken, that I'm wrong, that I'm sinning, that I'm bad, none of that stuff. And so this underlying thread and topic of acceptance has actually come up in every single one of my coaching sessions this week. And one example is of one of my previous clients who felt like she needed to trust this person, this family member, that she needed to accept the choices of this family member. And I kind of like stopped her and I said, okay, do you want to trust her? And I can tell she wanted to jump in with an explanation or a reason why she should. And I just stopped her and I said, no, let's just slow down. Let's slow down the mind, go into our heart space, and ask that place within us, Do you want to trust this person? Do you want to trust the choices this person is making? Is trusting or actually not trusting this person the safest thing for you? And the answer for her actually didn't come immediately. I actually had to let her sit in silence and process this. But I can see her mind just processing and thinking and actually like asking herself, like within her heart space, what the answer was. And when she received the answer, she was actually surprised that the safest thing for her was to not trust. And once she came to that honesty, then the revelation began to come. Then she came to realize that this is something that has been going on for a really long time, that deep in her heart space did not trust, but she herself was trying to force herself to trust. And that her way of trying to create a a a beautiful box experience, with the bow and every and all the pretty glittery stuff was to mask the inner knowing that it was not safe to trust. So when she came to this realization, it was as if all her defense mechanisms just melted from her. And she was able to embrace the honest part of her that she could choose to not trust. And she could choose to change her mind anytime. Like she can begin to trust tomorrow. Maybe she can begin to trust next week or next year or in 5 years. But today, she doesn't have to trust. And it was so liberating for her. And so as you're going through a separation and divorce, maybe one of the things that you and your future ex-spouse has decided that you want to still remain friends, that you can still remain friends, that you can be polite and amicable. But deep down inside, I want you to ask yourself that question in your heart space. Do you want to be friends today? Now, if the answer is yes, awesome. That's great. Because from that place of honesty, then you'll know what to think and feel and do to then move forward. But if deep down inside the answer is no, I want you to hold space in your heart for that honesty without thinking that you are doing it wrong, without judging yourself that you are a bad person and that you should be friends. All of that shame and blame and judgment, that is not necessary. But to really own your truth that you don't want to be friends with him. I remember several months ago, someone reached out to me just for a conversation that her future ex-spouse just told her, I want a divorce and I'm moving out and I'm starting to look for an apartment and doing all these things. And I still want to be friends with you. I still want us to be friends. And I had to stop her and ask her, do you want to be friends with him today? And again, she wanted to jump into an explanation. She wanted to jump in and tell me things. And I said, no, just want you to just slow down. Let's like move out of our brain and go into our heart space and ask that question. Do you want to be friends with him? And as she gave herself time to ponder and to think, she realized she had no desire to be friends with him that day, that she did not trust him, that she didn't want to be polite with him. And I said, yeah, and that's okay. Now that doesn't mean that you aren't going to change your mind or that you can't change your mind. You actually can change your mind. It just might not happen for a few days or a few weeks or a few months. It means nothing about you. It means nothing about your goodness and your graciousness that is already there. But the most gracious thing that you can do is to be honest with yourself. The most kind thing that you can do is actually trust your heart space, what the Spirit is telling you, that it is not safe today to be friends. It is not safe to be today to trust. It is not safe today to believe. That is the most kind thing to do, is to trust yourself first, to be friends with yourself first. And that if you're feeling this feeling of needing to trust, especially that word need, I need to trust him. I need to be friends with him or her. I need to be polite. That word need to me is a red flag that you're trying to work against something that is within your heart space. And the heart space is saying, no, not today, not right now. And so I want to let you know that you have permission today to not trust. I want to give you permission today that you don't have to be friends. I give you permission to not believe. I give you permission to not be polite if you don't want to. I give you permission to consider divorce. And that none of this means anything about who you are. And I give you permission to honor what is within your heart space, what is within the spirit of your being, and what it is trying to say. And that you have a choice to choose to listen and to follow the promptings that you are given. And that as you continue to always reference to your heart space, as you continue to practice referencing to the spirit of who you are, then you will begin to trust that inner voice. And when the inner voice begins to say, you know what, it is time to be friends, it is time to begin trusting, it is time to begin to believe, then you will know that that is true. But you won't get there if you are denying that inner voice. One last experience that I just want to share with you, with one of my clients, when she came to realize that she did not have to trust this person anymore. And it was amazing when she came to that realization that she didn't have to trust that person anymore today, but that she came to realize that she never really trusted that person in the past at all, which is why she was trying to work so hard to create in her mind an ideal family so that she wouldn't have to feel this lack of trust in this other person. And when she came to that truth, she then gave her permission to be angry, to be afraid, and to be resentful. Now you're probably thinking, oh no, what are you doing? We don't want to feel those feelings. We shouldn't feel angry. We shouldn't be afraid. We shouldn't be resentful. But guess what? It's just part of our human experience. Those are emotions too. Just as we have joy and pleasure and love and goodness and kindness, we have all the other feelings, and they are just as part of our human existence. But what was so amazing, and this was what she said, just blew my mind. She's like, oh my gosh, I get to feel resentful, and I get to feel resentful and be happy about feeling resentful. Isn't that crazy? Who would have thought that you could use those two emotions in one sentence, resentful and happy? And I was like, yes, because she is choosing it. No longer is she blaming the other person for making her feel resentful or disappointed or discouraged or angry or confused. She's let that go. And she's like, I want to feel resentful towards this person as I am not trusting that person. And you should have seen her face. Like it was like lighting up, which was like, I don't know if I've ever had that happen in a coaching experience. But it was as if she was showing herself so much love as she was giving herself permission to feel this feeling and to not judge herself and not to think that she is a bad person. It was amazing the joy that she felt, that she had this freedom to feel her feelings. And so I give you permission to feel your feelings as a testament of your love for yourself. So if you want to go feel resentful, you just go do that. You do that because you are honoring yourself and you are loving yourself. You want to feel angry? Go feel angry. But this is the thing, that you own those emotions. You own them, meaning that you are choosing to feel those feelings. That person is not making you feel resentful. That person does not make you feel angry. Now, if any of this is confusing, I get it. For a long time, I didn't get it. But if it is confusing, you know where to find me. Let's have a conversation because I can show you how you can own and be empowered within yourself. And it will create so much freedom, so much joy, so much happiness, so much choice in how you want to better your life and your circumstance. And that can begin by simply choosing to not trust, by simply choosing to not believe, because that is honestly where you are in your heart space. All right. So if you want to look into this kind of work, if something about this is just tugging at your heartstrings, if it is resonating within you and you want to know what it is like to be happy and resentful and have fun being angry and have a great time not trusting someone that you've always thought you should trust, let's talk. I want you to book an intro call with me today. Let's talk about where you're at, where you want to go, and how I can help you. Okay? All right. Have a beautiful day, my friend. I will talk to you guys again later.